So in second grade, I did general assembly in the cafeteria, and someone came in and talked about how people were homeless and didn't have a lot of money, and that made me sad. So I decided I wanted to give back to my community. So I started Loco Dose because I loved cooking.
Adrian was what our pediatrician called a spirited child when he was a toddler, and so he always had big ideas, very persistent, and people kept on telling us when he was younger, like, stick with it, he's going to change the world. And it was hard to believe back then, and now it's crazy to think he's already doing it at 10. He had first started that he wanted to give back his birthday money, his Christmas money, which was great. And then he gave that back, and he felt this immense sense of kind of responsibility. He was so happy to make that connection with people in the community who were doing great work. And then he asked, how can I do more? And so I said, well, you can start a business and raise awareness about these issues. And so he thought about it and said he loves to cook. Cooking's always been central to our family. And so that's where he came up with the idea of Loco Dose.
I nominated Adrian Umer because he has been donating to HPC since 2022. He actually came to our organization after learning about homelessness in his school and had said to his parents that he wanted to make a contribution to help organizations like ours help people who were struggling with homelessness or housing insecurity. So he came in, I believe it was December of 2022, with something like $167 and some change. And the connection to HPC just started there. And it was later in the following summer that I heard from Adrian's mom that he had opened a little pop-up kitchen called Loco Dose out of their home in Brewster, and had sold food and made food all summer and wanted to bring in the profits from those sales, which were $500. He brought in the money and we talked more, and he continued to be engaged and involved. And at this point has given thousands of dollars to HPC and has spoken at events. He's been involved in several different fundraising events that we've had. And I think, most of all, he's just such a great example of how a young person, or really any person, can hear about an issue and get really inspired to get involved and be part of solving a community problem. And Adrian clearly does this work, and his cooking from the heart, and really thinks about the impact that he's having on people in the community, and really wants to help to solve issues like homelessness. And you don't always see that in kids, and I think the fact that he was this motivated and inspired to be part of the solution and support a community is really meaningful. And we want to see more kids like Adrian.
I think Adrian is a visionary. I think he has big dreams for what he wants to do, and I think one of the greatest parts about his personality is that he is so persistent. He's gonna pursue them, and he's not afraid to fail. And so I see this from everything from being in the kitchen to what he wants to do in the next season of Loco Dose. Every recipe doesn't have to be perfect the first time, and we have that concept in our family where we talk about things going to test kitchen. And it could be that it's a test kitchen for a recipe, or it's just a concept, this idea of like, let's try things out. Let's work in the sandbox and figure out what we want to do. I think he leads with that desire to try things and be able to grow things and do great things. And so as it relates to his future, I think he's got a great start with what he started, and I think he leads with wanting to make a difference in the world, which I couldn't be more proud of.